Peace. Welcome to the YouTube live book reading of The African Origin of Civilization, Myth or Reality by Dr. Cheikh Anta Diop. Divine Rising, peace and highest heart love. Welcome, YouTube. Oh man, it's been such a great one. And I was thinking, let's get it done early because we got some work to do. Happy Juma. Peace, peace. So we cleared another chapter in the last reading, and so we begin a new chapter here in this convening book reading of such masterful work by Dr. Cheikh Anta Diop. So chapter 12 is where we pick up at. Divine Rising, peace, YouTube. What's going on, y'all? Shouts out to my great family members, Solar Returns. We have Uncle Bert. Thank you. I love you so much, Uncle Bert. You showed us how to man up and take pain, especially me at an early age. Amazing. Fisherman, father, rest in peace, BJ. And to my lovely Aunt Elva. Yeah. Happy solar return. Peace, 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 y'all. Divine days and nights. Yay. All right, here, let's go. We pick up on page 236 of this book. Chapter 12. Reply to a critic. Reply to a critic. I propose here to answer the critical review by Mr. Raymond Mauney, which appeared in the Bulletin de la Femme, Bulletin of the Fundamental Institute of Black Africa, in the July-October 1960 issue, relative to Nations Négrières et Culture. We apologize for returning to notions of race, cultural heritage, linguistic relationship, historical connections between peoples, and so on. I attach no more importance to these questions than they actually deserve in modern 20th century societies. Only my concern about scientific objectivity compels me to direct attention to these themes so long as certain of their aspects are challenged. As will be seen, our account is devoid of any passion, and we ask nothing better than to yield to factual evidence. What we shall try to combat in the name of scientific truth, and what forces us to utilize a notion as delicate as that of race, is a group of arguments that have become so habitual as to pass the scientific truths, which they definitely are not. It is the whole body of hypotheses distorted into factual experiences that are likely to lead to error and are still more dangerous than outright dogmatism. Mr. Mauney's criticisms begin near the end of his introduction. What was permissible for the student or the young lycée teacher is no longer allowed the doctor of letters, whose title could authorize him tomorrow to teach at the university. And so, despite all my sympathy for the author whose acquaintance I have made, I consider it my duty, no matter how much it may pain me and him, to say aloud what others are keeping silent out of politeness or for some other motive. Obviously, Mr. Mauney intends to pull no punches in his attempt to demolish the adverse thesis. If, in spite of that, his arguments should happen to reveal an unexpected fragility, it would be entirely involuntary on his part. As for me, I shall try to reply as objectively as possible, with equal serenity, to all the criticisms formulated here. The reader will be the judge. All right, so now we're going into his criticism. This is the critic, Mauney. According to C.A.D, the examination of the bone remains and mummies shows that we are dealing with Negroes. I affirm that the skulls from the most ancient epics and the mummies from the dynastic epic differ in no respect from the anthropological characteristics of the two Negro races existing on Earth, the straight haired Dravidian and the woolly haired Negro. And later, when we scientifically cleanse the skin of the mummies, the epidermis appears pigmented exactly like that of all the other African blacks. I add that at the present time there are infallible scientific procedures, ultraviolet rays, for example, to determine the amount of melanin in pigmentation. Now, the difference between a white and a black in this respect is the fact that the white organism secretes enzymes which absorb the melanin. The Negro organism does not secrete any enzymes. The same is true of the ancient Egyptians. That is why invariably the prehistory to the Ptolemaic epic, the Egyptian mummy has remained Negro. In other words, throughout Egyptian history, the skin as well as the bone structure of all Egyptians of all social classes, from pharaoh to fellah, has remained that of an authentic Negroes. Let us separate the two ideas contained in the preceding passage quoted by Mauney. A. According to C.A. Diop, African blacks. This is exact. In August 1961, I brought back from Paris samples of mummies that I had indeed cleansed and kept in glass jars at the IFN. They are at the disposal of all scholars who might be interested, and Mr. Mauney especially may examine them at his leisure whenever he so desires. Now, the difference between a white and a black, the Negro organism does not secrete any enzymes. This is the B. B. Mauney thinks he is quoting me. Nevertheless, scientific precision requires a clear distinction to be made between ideas expressed by me in Nations Negre et Culture and those collected from me by my journalists unfamiliar with the subject at a in the Latin Quarter, which M. Mauney interweaves with them. On reading Mauney's critique, we get the distinct impression that the quoted passage occurs in Nations Negre et Culture. This is not so. He could easily have avoided the confusion since both documents are available. It is to be regretted that throughout the critique, he combines two texts that cannot be placed on the same plane. All animal and plant organisms contain enzymes. This is a classic question of biochemistry. It is the condition of activation of the enzymes that can differ. Sometimes it depends on hereditary factors. Thus, a preponderant racial factor intervenes in the oxidation of the tyrosine and its transformation into melanin in the human epidermis, according to a chemical reaction catalyzed by tyrosinase. Woo! We have to put a pin right here talking about melanin in the epidermis. See, there's three parts of the skin. See, gem time. You have the epidermis, you have the dermis, and then the hypodermis. Oh, thank you. Melanin, divine carbon, information, data transmitter, antennas, melanin. Mm, so beautifully said. We're in the 12th chapter, reply to a critic, gratitude and welcome. Happy, happy days, divine days and nights. Peace, you two. Ah, we're in it. We are definitely in it. What a beautiful day it's going to be. God. And so I'll put a brief vocabulary in the description when it's finished uploading. So you can look up like tyrosinase, epidermis, stuff like that, melanin. It is also correct that one could trace back, so to speak, to that racial factor and determine its importance, starting from the dosage of the amount of melanin contained in the epidermis, especially in the epidermis of the Egyptian mummy. It is also certain that such a study would classify Egyptians among Negroes, according to the samples available to me and that I have selected entirely at random. I am not an anthropologist. This is back to the person critiquing that he's writing to. I am not an anthropologist, nor is the author, but I refer the reader to one of the best books on the subject of ancient Egypt, Carleton S. Kuhn, The Races of Europe, New York, Macmillan, 1939, pages 91 through 98, 458 through 462. In it, the racial components of ancient Egypt are analyzed. Mediterraneans in the pre Neolithic, whites, Tajians as on the Abyssinian plateau, browns with Negroid tendency, Nakada, related but less Negroid, Mediterraneans of Lower Egypt, whites, and from 3000 BCE to the Ptolemaic epic, the history of Egypt shows the gradual replacement of the Upper Egyptian type by that of Lower Egypt. Page 96. The later invaders, Hyksos, peoples of the sea, Semites, Assyrians, Persians, Greeks, all belong to white races, with the exception of the 25th dynasty of Nubian ancestry, as is known. Kuhn's work contributes nothing new. If all the specimens of races and subraces described by him lived in New York today, they would reside in Harlem, including those whose heads and faces are those of a smoothly contoured, fine Mediterranean form. No anthropologist will dispute me on this. Even Kuhn would agree with me. But since the ancient Egyptian is dead, discussion seems possible. So let us discuss. Kuhn's volume is dated 1939. Surprisingly enough, the facts in it with which Mani challenges me conform basically to my own conclusions. It is merely a question of variance of Negroes and Negroids, insofar as we adhere strictly to the facts. Egyptian archaeology includes the idea of an early occupancy of Lower Egypt by a white race. This idea seemed so natural to the first Egyptologists that they stated it almost spontaneously, without trying to base it on the slightest scientific or archaeological certainty. A study of Narmer's tablet would not allow us to affirm it, since, in the final analysis, the indecisive nature of the persons depicted on the thinness of documentation would be disproportionate to the importance of the conclusion. All Murray's, Moray's theories on anteriority of Lower Egypt, Upper Egypt are taken from Egyptian legends of the Greek epic and freely interpreted. In Lower Egypt, archaeological diggings dating back to the pre dynastic have failed to uncover the existence of a white type. The whites of the Lower Egypt were transplanted there at a well known, precise historical epoch. It was during the 19th dynasty under Ptah, 1300 BCE, that the coalition of Indo Europeans, peoples of the sea, was conquered. The survivors were taken prisoner and scattered over the pharaoh's various construction sites. Between 1300 and 500 BCE, these populations had time to spread from the western delta to the outskirts of Carthage. In Book 2 of his history, Herodotus explains how they were distributed along the coast. Consequently, when Kuhn speaks of whites inhabiting Lower Egypt, his statement is not based on any document. It would even remain to be proved that Lower Egypt existed as inhabitable terra firma in remote times. As for the white invaders, Hyksos, Assyrians, Persians, Greeks, etc. The Egyptians always represented them as races apart and were never influenced by them, for the simple reason that the invaders' civilization was less advanced than their own. No one has ever thought seriously of proposing scientifically the influence of any one of the peoples on Egyptian civilization. And we'll pause right here. Take back my days and nights. Thank you so much for reading with us. What a powerful, powerful place we are in. Live from the light here in LA. So grateful and thankful. So grateful and thankful. Sending love to the north. Sending love and prayers to the east. Sending love and protection, rainbow light, to the south. And sending love to where we reside now, in the west. So grateful. Nice heart love. We're in a new chapter, chapter 12, when we reconvene with the African origin of civilization, myth, or reality. Want you to have a wonderful day, shine in your light. Happy solar returns to all our friends and family. Let's have a glass of love, water, honor, respect. Thank you so much for the support on all these book readings. I see a lot of people going back and reading the books. You know, I'm so grateful and thankful being able to bring you this peaceful part of YouTube where we read books and learn from masters. I'm Master Fitness Trainer Uriel Riley, a well-known holistic healer, live from the light here in LA. My modality is your healing modality with the harmonic vibrational together. How I use for healing the body and multi-layers. So when you hear me give you these gems, tell you certain things about the light and living in it, it's all from my experience. You know, that's how I've been able to uplift people, help to heal people. So the main part of it was finding the answers for myself, how to heal myself, how to make myself better. That is what bringing the light to you is all about. Because if I show you I'm doing it, it's another youth out there that says, oh, I know I can do it. It's hard, love. Oh, I love you. Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. Fine days and nights. That's some beautiful love water. So remember, it's so easy for us to communicate what we don't want, right? But using the principles of healing sound, focused energy vibrates highest. So we want to focus on what we do want to receive. Remember that. Focus on what you do want to see. That's what turns on all the lights, saying, This is what I want for all of us. This is not just what's best for me. This is going to help someone else. Thank you for breathing with me. Thank you for reading with me. Let's sing I love you to our friends and family. Lift them up. That's right. That's where the real power is. Lifting people up, not downing people. Trying to put people down, that shows a reflection of how you feel about your life, yourself. So we lift up people. If that's what you would want someone to do for you, you know? Hi, it's fun. Let's sing I love you, all right? Have a wonderful day. Ay, 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 ay. Love, 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 love. You. Ay, 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 ay. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. You. I love you. And you know it. I love myself. Sometimes early in the divine rising, you have to just clear out the throat and see that's what the harmonic vibrational does. You can catch it and say, I need to clear my throat and go, or the principle of pitch, I need to vibrate it a little bit harder or faster, right? Till it resonates with you. Peace, peace. I'll see you soon. Divine days and nights.